So in batch data conversion BDC, we'll have the first thing is we'll have the call transaction method. Then second one is session method. So in the call transaction method, we have done the call transaction method for MK01 and MM01. Now what are we going to do is we are going to go ahead with MM01 and we're going to go for the session method for MM01. Let's do that now. So for this, what we have to do is we have to go ahead and do the manual entry, the same process which we have followed for the call transaction method. We'll do the manual entry first and check if the entry which we have in the flat file is properly working. Okay. So first and foremost is the flat file should be in place. Okay. When the flat file is in place, so from flat file you have to get the data into, we just need to check the manual entry, and after making sure that manual entry is working fine, we have to do the recording. Okay, can someone say me what is the transaction code that we have used for recording?
SH10.
SH?
SHD.
Exactly. Perfect. Excellent. Fantabulous. Okay. So recording in SHTB, we have done in the recording in the SHTB transaction. After that, what we have done is we had we went into the program. We went into the main program. Okay. In the main program, we copied that recording and then we executed it. So what are the steps that we have in the executed? What are the steps that we have in the program? Is first we upload the data, into internal table. Okay. Now, what is it? What is a function module that we have used to upload the data from internal table? Upload the data from flat file to internal table. GUI underscore upload is the function module. Excellent. Okay. So we'll go ahead with the GUI underscore upload. This is the function module we have used to get the data from the flat files to internal tables. Then from the internal table, no tables, only one table. Okay. So from the internal table, we are going to push this data in the loop. We're going to push the data from internal table to work area. And then we are going to push this work area data into the screens. Okay. And this was possible through the recording. And then we have used a command called call transaction. Now what are we going to do? Instead of this call transaction, we are not going to use this call transaction anymore. In session method, what are we going to do is we are going to remove this concept and we're going to insert three function modules. Those are BDC underscore open underscore group, BDC underscore insert, BDC underscore close underscore group. So remaining entire part is same. So there are few advantages of going ahead with BDC session method. The most important things are that you can maintain the log by default. Maintain log by default. You don't have to specifically do that. So what do I mean by log is, if you have uploaded the data, you can see how many transactions have been possible, were successful, how many have been failed, how many are having an error. So in this way, we can see the log of the recording. Okay. So if a particular program runs in the background and you don't know, yeah.
Sir, your voice is breaking.
So we create a structure in the program. In the program, we are going to write a structure which actually covers all the fields which we are using in that particular screens. Then internal table, work area. Then we are using the GUI underscore upload to get the data from the flat file to the internal table. And after this, we are going to introduce this BDC underscore open underscore group. Then in this BDC underscore open underscore group, after that we'll be writing the loop head. Then in this BDC underscore insert, so before after this BDC underscore insert, we'll be writing the end loop. So we are going to use this BDC underscore insert inside the loop after the recording. Okay, so we will place in the inside the loop. What we'll do first, we'll place the recording, right? All the recording. So after the recording, instead of writing the call transaction command, we're going to use BDC underscore insert. And after the end loop, we are going to add the BDC underscore close underscore group. This is the basic difference between the call transaction method and session method technically. Okay, functionally, from the functional point of view, there are some advantages of going ahead with the session method. As I was discussing, you can see the log, and you can break the entire load into small packets of load, so that there is no burden. For example, let's say we have 1,000,000 records. Okay, million means 10 lakh records. So these records you don't want it to be done in one packet. You want to split that into 10 packets. You can do that, and you can upload that into a proper way. So this is what we can do in our session method. Right? Okay. Now let's go ahead and do that session method now. So here we'll first see the program that we had already done. Here. Now that we are doing it for the MM01 transaction, so let us go ahead and first manually check the values and check the entry. So I'll go for MM01 here, and in this I'll give some random number like 1890, and then we have industry sector. I'll give it as retail. Material type, I'll be giving it as finished. Finished product, and just say enter here. So we're selecting this. We don't want all this. I just uncheck this. By default, they are all checked, and we are making it as a simple process now. So for this, I'm checking all these things and checking only the basic data, and say OK. Now we have this plant and storage location. I just say OK, and this is like the material type, material description. I'm giving it as door panels, and then the unit of measure I'm giving it as kg, and material group is actually not mandatory in the screen that I am doing right now. Okay, maybe that might be mandatory in other screens, then you have to give it. Okay, then just say enter and click on save. Now this was created successfully. A1890 was created successfully. So remember, in the system which I am showing it right now, I'm sharing the screen right now. In that, it is mandatory for us to give the alphabets. So the functional team has actually configured it like that. But if in your system only numbers are accepted, you can go ahead with the numbers. So we just need to manually test it to make sure everything is working properly with the data that we have. So then we'll go for SHDB transaction. So in the SHDB transaction, we are going to go ahead with the recording. Now let me first do the notepad. Let me create a flat file here. So as I discussed earlier, this material type, when I select finished goods, it will have one particular number which will be recorded in the backend. So let me record it and then build the flat file accordingly. So I'll do the recording now, new recording. Then you can go for any name of the recording which you already know. Okay, you already know this concept. So I'll give it as something like a CGG. Okay, some name. And then we are going ahead with the MM01 and say start recording. Now you just need to give some values here, which needs to be something unique. You cannot give the same material because you cannot create the material with the same number. Okay, so I need to change that. I've changed it, select it, and I'm selecting only basic type, basic data, and just say OK here. And then description, I'm giving it as something like on. And then we have this base unit of measure kg. Say OK. Yes. And then you just need to save this recording and back. Select this and click on program. So in the program, you just need to give some program name, REC MM01. Doing the recording for MM01. Now here we have we'll go ahead with something like CG recording 1, and then click on source code here, and I'm clicking on local object. If you already have a package in your system, you can save it in the package. Now we have got the recording here, so I'll go ahead with the SE38 program, wherein we have to build everything from the scratch. So this is one method of doing it. There are you can also do it from in a different other ways as well. Okay, VA. Then we are doing the session method. Session of MM01. Create. Here we'll go ahead with the first. Let me copy the recording and paste it here so that I will get the field names. We'll understand the field names here. So I'm just copying it from this line. 52nd line perform. Select till here. Now in this, what are the fields that we have here is what we need to enter. So we have done the static values are not been displayed here. Okay, so what I'll do is I have to copy from recording actually. So there is some small change here. I'll go for SHTV. Select this program, and we just need to select transfer from recording. Not read from transfer from recording. This is what we need to give. Program name is 2. So when we say transfer from recording, all the inputs that we have given will come. So that's very important. We need that so that we can comment these values and we can also build a flat file. Till here we are just copying it. Loop at IT underscore MM01 into W underscore MM01. Types begin of ST underscore MM01. End of ST underscore MM01. Okay, in this we need to give the field names. The first field name is MATNR. Type MATNR. Okay, so I'm just this is what I have written. I'm comment this. This is the value that we can W underscore MM01 hyphen MATNR. So our focus would be to get this data from the internal table to this work area field. So we have next we have MBRSH. So then we have MBRSH. MTART. Type MTART. MBRSH. So here we'll write this as W underscore. I'm doing both parallelly. Okay, you can do it later as well, MTART, just because I'm writing this field names also here. So in the first screen, we have entered 3 values. Okay, one is the MATNR, MBRS, it's MTART. Now, after that, this is the second screen. From here, second screen comes. And this, we have to go ahead to make ATX. So now this, I'll comment this. I'll go for W underscore MM01 hyphen MAKTX. So we need to inculcate, add this MAKTX. That's a description. Then we have currency. Like the unit. So we'll go for W underscore MM01 hyphen unit. Now MAKTX and unit. So in the second screen we are given MAKTX. Type MAKTX. Then unit. Type unit type.
So,
Yes.
for MEINS, why are we taking it as units, sir?
You can take it as MEINS only. Yeah, we can take it as MEINS. It's not mandatory that we have to take the same field, but let's take the MEINS one. Let's do that. So just if you give the same names, it'll avoid confusion. So let us give the same names, MEINS, and here we have MEINS. That's it. Now here we'll go ahead with data IT underscore MM01 type standard table of ST underscore MM01 W underscore MM01 type ST underscore MM01. These are the things that we have, and then what we are going to do, we have to go ahead with the GUI underscore upload. But before the GUI underscore upload, first let me build the flat file because I have not filled the flat file yet. So the flat file happens to be like this 1893, and then we have, according to the recording, the next field would be MB RSS, that is 9. So I'll give it as 9 only, tab. Then I'll give HP13 tab. Then we have MAKTS description. I'll give it as something like silencer tab, and then we have unit is kg only. I'll give it as kg only. That's it. In my system, these are the mandatory fields, so I'm going ahead with these mandatory fields. So I'll go ahead with next one. This one is 94, and then these two things I'll not change because those are kind of a configuration kind of thing. So I'll go for steering. Okay, so I'm just saving this as MM01. As I already told you, you need to save it in documents only because documents or desktop, because that is where you will be given the access to read the file. I'll go for MM01. That's it. Save. Now, additionally, what we have to do is we have to go ahead with two more definitions, that is IT underscore BDC data, type standard table of BDC data, W underscore BDC data, type ST underscore BDC data. This is what we have, and then we have to click on the pattern, go for GUI underscore load. So file name is what we have to copy it from here. This is the file name. I just gave the path. As I discussed earlier, we can have a dynamic path as well. We can plan for dynamic path as well. AC and field separator would be hash. We have this as IT underscore MM01. This is where the data has to be uploaded. And since the field separator is tab, I'm giving it as hash. So if it is comma, we have to give comma. If it is full stop, or if it is colon, but if it is tab, then you have to give it as hash here. System understands hash as a tab. Now this is done, and after this, before this loop, as we discussed in the theoretical concept, before the loop we need to call a function module called BDC underscore open underscore group. Now in this we have to uncomment this exporting client group. We are giving us something like, you can give any group. With this group, it actually creates. Okay. So it creates a kind of a group there in the recording. I'll show you that. So then we have user. User is sy-uname. sy-uname happens to be the name of the person. So record cprog. These are the values that we have. We need to uncomment those values in the BDC underscore open underscore group. Then we have, okay, so here before the end loop, here we have end loop. Before the end loop, we need to call the function module BDC underscore insert. The transaction code would be MM01. IT underscore MM01. Now after this, we'll go ahead with the pattern BDC underscore close underscore group. In this BDC underscore close underscore group, we don't have to do anything. We don't have to enter any values. Okay, and then we have to maintain these two forms. Okay, we have performs here. This is a perform BDC underscore type perform BDC underscore field. For these two performs, we need to have the forms below. So that forms you can just copy paste from the include program. In fact, like we can directly mention the include program itself here so that it will be accessed from there. But having said that, we just need to make some changes in that particular forms. That's the reason we actually copy that. So I'll go back in the recording. So if you go on to the top in the recording, we have BDC RECX1. Select that BDC RECX1 and you just click on the display. And in this BDC RECX1, we have to go completely down. And here you have these two recordings, two forms. Control C. Here you just need to paste that here. And after pasting, you just have to make some changes. Here we have WA underscore. Here. Here you need to give us space, full stop here. Append WA underscore BDC data to IT underscore BDC data. Here also the same thing. Append WA underscore BDC IT underscore BDC. Okay, this is successfully done now. Yes, so we have to remember that we have to change this no data to space. Okay, going forward, I'll explain you why this has been done. So work area to internal table, we are pushing this data. This is clear. Yes. In this BDC insert, we need to give this. Okay, done. Now let us execute this. Okay, so we'll just execute this. Hello. Now, once we execute this program, BDC underscore insert. In the BDC underscore insert, this Dynpro tab I given it as IT underscore MM01, but it should originally be IT underscore BDC data, not IT underscore MM01, because IT underscore MM01 actually carries the data, but IT underscore BDC data carries the properties, right? So we have to do that now. So we have executed it now, and we'll go ahead with /home SESM35. So we need to run it from SM35. Okay. So this is where this batch name with which we have created will be open. So let me show you the batch name here, the group name. The group name that we are given in the BDC underscore open underscore group is Genius. Okay. So this Genius is the word with which the session will get created in SM35 transaction. Okay. I repeat, what's the transaction here? We went into SM35. So actually the data has not yet run. I mean, like, it is not yet processed. The program is not yet processed. So if the program has to be processed, I mean, like, if the load has to be processed, we need to go to the SM35 and execute it. Okay, so select that, click on process. Process in the foreground, process. So we have all these values here. Just say enter. Basic data, okay. And these are the values that we have here. Enter. Do you want to exit? Do you want to save? Yes. Enter again. Enter. Because I have given during the processing, I just gave it as all screens needs to be displayed. I just selected that. Oh, 189. The new value is not getting updated, guys, here. So why it is not getting updated is because I didn't type. I guess I didn't type this. IT underscore refresh IT underscore BDC data. I think it's missing here. So here, if you see inside the loop, I need to write refresh IT underscore BDC data. If you don't do that, again same record will come again and again. So let me change the values in the file and then upload it again. Let me go to the documents. Only first was updated, so I'll just change that. Close it. Now let me run it again. Execute. Allow, and it's done. So again we'll go back to SHTV. Refresh. SM35. So now you have one more session got created, and select this and click on process. Okay, process in the foreground. So here we can decide whether you want to see all the screens, or do you want to see error screens, or do you want to see only the background. Process. Say enter. Enter again. Enter. this is done. So the load has been done. Now we have to go and check in the MARA table. This data will be stored successfully in the MARA table. So let us go to S11 and check if the records have actually been loaded or not. So I'll go for MARA table, display, and we can also check a value of short description in the MAKT table. We can check the description. Let us go ahead with the contents. I don't have the date of creation, so I'll go for A18902 A1899 execute. So you'll get these records. So if you select that, you will get these details. So whatever we have updated, those values are coming here. MATR is A1890. These records have been successfully uploaded. Okay. So with this, the session method for MM01 is completed. So what did we just do? We have completed the session method in BDC. For which transaction? For the transaction MM01. This is what we have done. So in this way, we can do it for any other transaction as well, provided we need to know exact inputs in that, and that's it. So we need to have a flag file, and we can go ahead and do it.